Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So this video is about a heavyweight prospect from Russia by the name of Arslanbek Makhmudov, the prospect that nobody is talking about. Now I have actually done a video on Arslanbek Makhmudov in the past in my heavyweight prospect series, but till this day, nobody is talking about Arslanbek Makhmudov, one of the most dangerous prospects in heavyweight boxing as far as I'm concerned. He's a hard-hitting heavyweight prospect based out of Russia. He's 10-0 as a pro, 10 knockouts. He had a very decent amateur career, beat the likes of Makhmudov, who was a great amateur in his time, and Makhmudov has also got World Series of Boxing experience, where he's knocked out the likes of Guido Vianello, who's an upcoming prospect right now in the heavyweight division, and he also knocked out Mihai Nistor, who famously beat Anthony Joshua in the amateurs. So Arslanbek Makhmudov does have credentials in the amateur game and in the World Series of Boxing, and like I said, as a pro, he's amassed a record of 10-0 with 10 knockouts. He's knocked out everybody he's faced so far, including a faded Samuel Peter and the durable heavyweight journeyman Jonathan Rice, who recently went the distance with Efe Ajagba, another highly rated heavyweight prospect. So Arslanbek Makhmudov, right now in my opinion, is the heavyweight prospect that nobody's talking about. He's based out in Canada, trains with Mark Ramsey, who's a very good trainer, and Makhmudov does actually have a fight scheduled. He's going to be fighting on the 10th of October in Canada, and he is going to be fighting Canadian heavyweight Dylan Carman. Now, Dylan Carman is a fairly respectable heavyweight. I would say he's Commonwealth level. He's a fairly big heavyweight at 6'5". He can certainly punch, and he actually knocked out another Canadian heavyweight prospect by the name of Simon Keane. Simon Keane, he actually did go on to avenge that defeat, but Dylan Carman can certainly punch. He comes to fight, and in my opinion, it's a good fight for Arslanbek Makhmudov at this stage. Though I would say I make Arslanbek Makhmudov a big favourite. I expect him to win this fight. I expect him to win this fight well. And I expect him to knock out Dylan Carman. Dylan Carman, like I said, he comes to fight. But defensively, he's not the greatest. And in my opinion, he doesn't really carry the best punch resistance. So yeah, I expect Arslanbek Makhmudov to win this fight. And I expect him to win it by knockout. But it's good to see him back in the ring. Makhmudov's not actually been in the ring since December 2019, so it's good to see him back. He certainly needs to be more active. Obviously, we've had COVID going on, so that's not helped. But, after this fight, I would like to see Makhmudov stay active and hopefully go through the ranks, get a high ranking, and maybe get some big fights in the next 12 to 18 months. Because the guy is certainly an entertaining fighter. He carries those amateur credentials, and he certainly has some really good attributes. Naturally, he's a very aggressive heavyweight. He's a bit of a stalker, likes to walk you down and basically lay hellfire on you. The guy carries extreme power in his right hand. He's got a decent straight right, and his right uppercut is something from hell. That shot snatches souls. And he's got a decent jab coming forwards as well. I would like to see Makhmudov use that jab a little bit more, just on a more consistent basis when he walks his opponents down. It is a good shot, but in my opinion, he just doesn't use it enough. And also, one more little minor critique for Makhmudov is the fact that I would like to see him pay a little more attention to his defense. When he comes forwards, he does have a habit of carrying low hands, particularly his jab hand, his left hand. I would like to see him tighten up a little bit, because the guy doesn't exactly use the most head movement. Basically, I would like to see Makhmudov use a little bit of a high guard, something that he can come forwards with, jab behind, and basically, walk his man down with, without necessarily being such an open target for counter shots. Because Makhmudov right now, yes, he carries power, yes, he's got the amateur credentials, he's got nice punch technique, he's a physically imposing dude, but in terms of defense, that is one area where he does need to improve. But providing he does that, I certainly believe this guy can go a fair way in the heavyweight division. Physically, I think he's fairly respectable in today's heavyweight division. He's listed as 6'5.5", usually weighs in the low 260s, so he's a big lump. He is 31 years old, so, as a heavyweight, that's not the oldest. As we know, heavyweights tend to mature a lot slower than other weight classes, but at the same time, he does need to get a bit of a move on in the next 12 months, start taking some step-up fights, climb through the ranks, and hopefully towards the end of next year, the guy is knocking on contention for sort of like world level fights. That's what I'm looking for Arslanbek Makhmudov. What I can say is this: no matter how far this guy goes, he is going to be very fun to follow. His career is going to be very entertaining just based on the way he fights. He's not really going to change it up all that much. He's an aggressive guy with serious power in that right hand. Kill or be killed type shit. So this guy's going to be very fun to follow. And like I said, there's a lot of prospects right now in the heavyweight division. Filip Hrgovic, Daniel Dubois, Joe Joyce, Efe Ajagba, Tony Yoka. All of these guys are getting talked about to varying degrees. However, Arslanbek Makhmudov, nobody's really talking about this guy, and I think it's a crying shame. I think this guy could be a pretty good contender in the future. Like I said, he's got a lot of positives behind him, in regards to the amateur career, his power, his size, his aggression, and, he's got some ability there. So, yeah, Arslanbek Makhmudov, if you don't know, now you know. Start following this guy. Very good prospect in my opinion. He fights on the 10th of October against Dylan Carmen. I'm picking Arslanbek Makhmudov to win this fight by knockout. A pretty good fight at this stage of Makhmudov's career. And hopefully after this fight we see Arslanbek Makhmudov step up his level of competition. I mean, after this fight, I wouldn't mind seeing Makhmudov fight even someone like Simon Keane, who's also a Canadian heavyweight. I would say that fight is makeable because Makhmudov trains out of Canada. He's based there. That's where he fights. And obviously Simon Keane is a Canadian. I think that'll be a decent fight for him. If not someone like Simon Keane, maybe a durable guy like, I don't know, Christian Hammer, Marius Wack. Any one of these sort of guys for Makhmudov after the Dylan Carmen fight, providing he wins, in my opinion, would be very acceptable. So, yeah, very good prospect in my opinion. He's fun to watch, he carries power, he's aggressive. Listen, if you like violence, follow Arslanbek Makhmudov. You won't regret it. Anyway, I think we're going to wrap this one up. Yeah, share your thoughts below. What do you make of Arslanbek Makhmudov? Are you high on him? Do you think he can go far? Do you think he's overrated? Yeah, share your thoughts below. Tell me what you guys think. Peace.